Oh, this week's been crazy. Hey everybody, and thanks for tuning in to Starting a Record Label. If you've listened to any of the other podcasts, you basically know this is pretty obvious. Josh tries to start a record label, and it's a kind of a journal of what I'm doing every single week. I kind of have like a meeting with myself every Monday night kind of deal after I release these podcasts, and I go, all right, okay, what steps am I taking to move forward? And it's a little thing kind of I got from the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And basically, if you set up your long-term goals and just chip away at them and make sure that you're like actually spending time and saying, hey, we need to get this done, we need to get these things done, treating yourself like a little company, then you're going to actually succeed. Because if you have some idea or whatever, and you're just kind of like, maybe one day I'll do that, that's just not going to happen. And so, voila, the Starting a Record Label podcast. And so, I've obviously started working towards this thing, trying to work towards to get more money and try to work towards that signing. Now, right now, my signing date is looking about August 1st. And that date can definitely move because, if I don't find the right artist, then that's just not going to happen. I'm not going to just sign somebody to sign something. So I'm currently starting to look for artists. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to immediately sign them. I'm going to start creating my own little spreadsheet of like, artists I'm following, and see if they're interested eventually. And I've already actually gotten quite a few people that actually sent me stuff like saying, hey, would you be interested? And I'm just like, whoa. Not yet, bro. I love your stuff. Actually, I listened to their stuff on Bandcamp the other day, this guy's stuff. And I was like, wow, that's actually good. I'm just not ready yet for that. Even my little night, Tim Ferriss, 6 months ahead, kind of like, where am I looking at, planning on being at that time? I'm like, no, way too early, bro. But also I think that August 1st deadline could move up and it could move back. So, but I'm definitely taking these first steps here to start, working towards that goal. And so this last week I did my taxes and, oh my gosh, it was such a pain. And I literally stayed up all night to do it. And it's something where I can't, since I do my own recording and mixing, and I also have side gigs, and my wife works, and we, give to charity a little bit, and we do all these other little things, and and it's like all these taxes are too crazy, friggin', it's ridiculous. It should be way more simple than that, because I'm sure I probably actually don't owe as much, or didn't owe any money, but I'm sure that I could have gotten back a lot more, because I just don't know everything there is to know about every little thing. So rich people can get away with zero taxes, and Josh over here is just like, I'm trying to get another $1. I don't know, did I take that out yet? So taxes are definitely important for your business, and I'm a little scared about next year's taxes because I'm already purchasing stuff and buying stuff for this new label adventure. And that's going to be another part. So I'm going to have recording, I'm going to have mixing, I'm going to have side hustles, I'm going to have my wife's stuff, and then I'm going to have probably this podcast stuff, and maybe the record label stuff if we get a band here signed soon. And I'm even doing another podcast called Yellow Spandex, and so we started getting some sponsors for that. So I don't know, maybe I'll have to pay stuff for that too. So I don't know, but dealing with the money aspect of this has been really tense, and we haven't always been good with money. Actually, up until this last year, we were kind of meh. We definitely didn't bury ourselves, but we took on too much debt. We already had a ton of student loan money. Everybody does. Kind of hey, you should get a college degree, even though you might not need one. So me and my wife both have a lot of student loan debt. And so we were like, okay, we have a lot of regular debt, like credit card debt. We want to get rid of it. We've been hearing about this thing for years called Financial Peace. It's like a seminar you go into, and they're like, hey, here's some simple things, and hey, here's how you can put them into your daily routines, and here's how you can actually save up for the future, so when you retire you're not poor. And it's so friggin' straightforward, but it's like, wow, why am I not doing this? And I do want to warn people who might not be what we used to call religious that he is a Christian dude, and he does talk about God every once in a while. But even Matt Boudreau from the Working Class Audio podcast, who I'm pretty positive is not a very religious person, was saying, hey, there's so much great content in here that even him, who might not be such a religious person, really enjoyed it. So I think as religious as it gets, I'm pretty positive he's just like, God doesn't want you to be in debt. You're like, oh, well, that makes sense. So anyway, just put that out there. For me, though, I am what you would probably call a religious person. Anyway, I was really interested in being out of debt and only funding things with actual money. And that's one of my goals with this label, is to actually only fund this with real money. No credit. Credit is bad. We're getting out of debt here, especially we still got, we're going to be paying on the loans for a while. But we're going to hopefully be out of debt here in a little bit, and from credit card stuff and whatnot. And that feels so amazing. Guys, seriously, if you guys want to know how to budget, go to the financial peace thing. It's amazing. And just FYI, I'm not in any way, shape, or form supported by these people. So anyway, to set our long-term goals, like I said, I wanted to have August 1st kind of be like a signing date kind of idea. And we walk those goals back every Monday at 8 p.m. before bedtime, or after bedtime, I guess the kids' bedtime. And I kind of been going through like, what are my goals for the next week? And what am I trying to do for the label? And what can I talk about on the podcast, to be honest? Just to move it forward, baby step forward, And so I've considered, I've been doing these side hustles. So I got recording and mixing. And so that's going to start going completely towards the record label stuff. The dollar amount that's in the last episode that I said, hey, this is what I think I'm going to need to kind of do a full year. So recording and mixing is going to go towards that. So I'm still doing some mixing this week, hopefully get paid, and that'll just go blink into the savings for that. And on top of that, like, I don't get as much recording and mixing anymore because I've kind of said, hey, I don't want to deal with annoying YouTubers. And just not very good people or whatnot. I don't want bad musicians. So I've moved into doing side hustles. And I know that sounds silly, and it's going to be like, hey, side hustles on YouTubes, you're going to be a millionaire. Like, no. It's more like doing things like Instacart and doing things like Uber Eats and doing things like Postmates. I've done all of those, and I started like doing it just for extra money. And it's great because when you have something like a label or you got a band or whatever, you want your job to be, and I think I heard Ari Hestand say something like this. You want your job to be you want your job to take your body and not your mind. And so doing all these silly trips and delivering food or whatever, like, it is not hard. And I don't want to think about it. I can listen to podcasts all day long. I can listen to books about music business and all these things and learn while I'm working. So, I don't want to be somewhere where it's going to drain me both physically and mentally, but especially not mentally, because, you have your ideas when you're at home. And you just don't want to go home and go, my brain is mush. I don't want to think about anything. I don't want to write any new music. I don't want to do this or that. So I'd actually recommend these side hustles. Like, if you guys are looking to promote, through some ads for your next big EP, or if you're recording a new EP and you need some money, hey, everybody get one of these. Is real quick. And just for every night after you get home for a couple hours, go deliver some food, for goodness sakes, or take someone their groceries and save some stuff up. It'll be real quick if the whole band's doing it. But personally, with the recording and the mixing and the side hustles, I'm going to start putting away $500 a month. And then hopefully soon, I'm going to start putting $1,000 a month after a few months. And I know that money, you'd be like, hey, it's going to take you a long time before you save up for the amount that you said. Now, that's true. But here's the point of it. I'm not just going to day one drop that amount of money and all that stuff on a band. We're not going to release 12 recordings. We're not going to release, 400 t-shirts, whatever it was. We're not going to release, all the CDs, all the cassettes. We're not going to do the vinyl. We're not going to do all that stuff on day one. We're not going to do all the marketing money I said I was going to put into it on day one. It doesn't make sense. It'd be like a flash in the pan, and people will be annoyed with it, like those Bloomberg ads. I don't know if you ran into those here, but they're just everywhere, and you're like, oh no, oh, not another one. Oh gosh, this guy's annoying in the first place. And not only that, we kind of need to be able to have some time to trust each other and work together and just slowly gain traction. It's not going to be overnight. We got to start from the beginning. We got to start from the ground. And so obviously we don't want that flash in the pan. It'd be here and gone, and all that money would be spent. We got to do it intelligently. And that's the part where a lot of the work comes in. Where we're going to do a lot of creative work, whether it be podcasts or Twitch. You can even do, like, we could do some gaming. We could do whatever you want to do. But we're going to do lots of it. Hopefully 3, maybe 4 videos a week, maybe up to 5, hopefully in a few months here so that we can get moving. But all that stuff's going to be, it's going to be like a snowball. You know, we're going to start here at the beginning at something small and intense, and we're just going to roll it. We're going to start up the DistroKid stuff so that we can get money from your music and from like videos or whatever that you're doing. And then we're going to roll it down the hill a little bit. We're going to start doing a little bit of marketing. If you guys have like any email marketing already, we can roll that into it so that when we start doing merch, like early on, we can actually get some wins on that. We can actually get some money early on to build into that snowball as it rolls down the hill and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So, you know, we can start doing big videos. We start collaborating with other artists. We'll be doing discovery videos for, you know, people just discovering you now. We'll be doing nurturing videos for the current fans you do have, you know, information and sales videos, collaboration videos. I mean, it's just so much stuff, but it's not all going to be just dropped in the first day. And that's how I'm kind of going to be able to afford all this stuff. Because at the beginning, we're going to spend some money on some ads, and we're going to work with what we have. And then, you know, after a month, we're going to start recording music. But now we're not going to do it all at once. It's going to be like, here's a piece of music, and here's a piece of music, and here's a piece of music. And we're going to be showing fans like, hey, here's some songs we just wrote. What do you guys think? And, you know, let the fans decide on like, hey, what song do you think we should record? And, you know, if you say, hey, I really want this song, even though maybe the fans don't think it's number one, we'll record it. They don't get the last say always. It's you guys. So, I mean, we're gonna envelop this whole idea and slowly chug. It takes a while for that train to get up to speed. So, you know, like I said, if you listen back to the last episode, I'm not gonna drop the amount of money in here now because I don't know if my wife's listening or not. But if you think that I'm just gonna be able to do that up front, it's gonna be a little bit harder. And we're gonna all be involved in it. We're all gonna work together. No biggie. Well, it's going to be a biggie. But, you know, I've got other things that I've got to pay for first, too. I mean, if we got to do an LLC, you know, I definitely want to get you guys. We're going to eventually have to draft a contract. You know, there's going to be a lot of podcasts in between here and there. Obviously, I'm going to have to do podcasts. You know, I want to have some other label guys on here to talk about, hey, what are some things that I'm missing? How are maybe some ways that I can raise some more capital in this? You know, you gotta have podcasts filling it out with artists filling it out with artists. Ooh, that sounds awful. Gonna have podcasts, you know, talking to bands that might be interested. There you go. That's better. But, hey, you know, what do you guys think? You know, back and forth. And once we kind of get closer and closer to that, well, you know, we'll have podcasts with the band over what's to be expected of each other. You know, podcasts with the band, creating a band agreement, because bands need that. You need that if you're in a band. 100% band agreement. Podcasts with, you know, the band over the contract. You know, hey, what can we talk back and forth? What do you think? You know, interviews or whatever about that with the band. I'm going to try to have the lawyer on that we'd go through to talk about drafting the contract and what's going to be in that contract, and how, you know, how to deal with that aspect of it. I mean, that's money too. So at the beginning here, we're going to roll, but it's going to be more laying the foundation of a bunch of really, really great content. We're going to start writing music and start recording music. Yes. And it's going to be a slow chug towards getting the merch and doing all the other stuff. But like I said, again, I keep saying, like I said, it's not going to be like, flash in the pan, done, because that would be So sad. And so if you guys like my content and if you like what I'm doing, feel like I'm doing the right thing, feel like I'm helping move things forward in the industry, do me a favor and share the content. Take one, podcast, whichever your favorite is or whatever it is, the newest one, and share it on social media. Tag me, whatever the guest, if there's a guest on there. That would be one way for you guys to help. Another way would be to support us through Patreon. Right now you can go to patreon.com/startingarecordlabel and support us there. When you sign up, you get into our private Facebook group, so we can talk about, starting a record label if you guys are with me on that endeavor. Any of the trials and tribulations we've gone through, we can maybe go through them together. But I appreciate you guys for even listening. Every single week, the downloads go up, and so obviously someone likes it. So thanks, guys, for tuning in this week, and see you next time.